The cattle on the dike enjoyed their lives also in the cold wind from northwest. The Ever Forever came from Rotterdam-Maasvlakte. She drove to Hamburg. Built in 2020, the container ship is 334 meters long and 48 meters wide. As usual, the Ro-Ro freighter Kugelbake drove plane parts for Airbus from Nordenham to Finkenwerder near Hamburg. Kugi is 16 years old, 79 meters long and 19 meters wide. Underway from Hamburg to Antwerp was the 2024 built One Recognition. Her length is 273 meters, her beam 43 meters. The small Hurtigruten passenger ship Otto Sverdrup was underway to Frederikshavn in Denmark. She has a length of 139 meters and a beam of 22 meters. The ship was built in 2002. The feeder ship York Ruler was built in 2006. She measures 141 to 22 meters and drove from Hamburg to Szczecin in Poland. The NCL Averroy was on her way to Rotterdam. She was also built in 2006. Her length is 134 meters, her beam 23 meters. This is the APL Fullerton, an 11 years old container ship. She is 398 meters long and 51 meters wide. Her destination was Le Havre in France. Underway from Brunsbüttel to Hamburg was Beate. This feeder ship has a length of 134 meters and a beam of 23 meters. Beate is 20 years old. The freighter Rix Union came from Ipswich in Great Britain. 24 years old, she measures 90 to 15 meters. The tanker Aragonith was built in 1999. She is 93 meters long and 15 meters wide. Her tour went from Wilhelmshaven to Butzfleeth. The 2021 built HMM Nuri came from Rotterdam Maasvlakte. Her length is 366 meters, her beam 51 meters. In new and pretty red painting, the Puerto Limon Express came up the Elbe. She has a length of 210 meters and a beam of 30 meters. She came from Felixstowe in England. The container ship MSC Abidjan measures 300 to 48 meters and is 12 years old. She was sailing from Thames in Great Britain to Hamburg. Gerda was underway to Helsinki in Finland. She is 168 meters long, 27 meters wide, and 16 years old. This is the Maersk Puello, a container ship with a size of 304 to 40 meters. She was built in 2006 and came from Rotterdam Maasvlakte. This container ship is 300 meters long and 48 meters wide. Her name is Valence. She came from Felixstowe in England and was built in 2013. On tour from Hamburg to Antwerp was the Sim America, a 304 meters long and 40 meters wide container ship. The year of her construction was 2003. As always, on Saturday evening, the Aida Nova came down the Elbe from Hamburg. Aida Nova was built in 2018 by the Meyer Werft in Papenburg in Germany, is 337 meters long and 42 meters wide. This time she was underway to Rotterdam. In dirty weather on the dike, the MSC Auriga came by, a 366 meters long and 51 meters wide container ship. She was built in 2020 and was sailing to Rotterdam. Coming from Felixstowe in England was the CMA CGM Alcazar. She is 18 years old, 294 meters long, and 32 meters wide. Underway from Bremerhaven to Hamburg was Bianca Rambo. She measures 134 to 23 meters and was built in 2004. This container ship is 7 years old. Her length is 400 meters, her beam 59 meters. She came from Rotterdam Maasvlakte, and her name is COSCO Shipping Virgo. The LPG tanker Happy Penguin came from Butzfleth. Built in 2013, she is 113 meters long and 20 meters wide. Her tour went to Antwerp. The calves on the dike enjoyed the improving weather. This is the Ever Mercy, a 2024 built box mover. Her length is 366 meters, her beam 51 meters. She was sailing to Hamburg and came from Antwerp. We already saw the NCL Averroy coming empty from Hamburg. Now she came back fully loaded from Rotterdam Maasvlakte. From Helsingborg in Sweden came the tanker Bomar Mercury. Her length is 120 meters, her beam 17 meters. She was built in 2008. Suddenly, the barnacle geese had taken over the cattle pasture, so the cattle had fled into the far corner of their meadow. The freighter Svealand was underway from Blumenthal to Wismar. Her size is 89 to 13 meters. She is 24 years old. Fully loaded, the 2022-built hopper dredger Vox Apollonia was driving to the North Sea, where she would empty her cargo hold full of sand and mud from the Elbe. Vox Apollonia is 138 meters long and 28 meters wide. Finally, the Cattles had enough and began slowly to conquer back more space from the loud room and fodder thieves. Thetis D is a 168 meters long and 27 meters wide container ship that is 16 years old. Her destination was Klaipėda in Lithuania. From Gdynia in Poland came the 2023 built Songa Panther, a 172 meters long and 29 meters wide container ship. The tanker Stolt Sycamore had to lie in the road for a while. Now she was driving to Hamburg. Her length is 183 meters, her beam 32 meters. She was built in 2000